Hi, I'm Michael, and this is California. And in this time of the lockdown, in this time of the pandemic, tons of folks are losing their health insurance through their work, but they like their health insurance through their work. So today we're going to cover two programs, COBRA and Cal-COBRA, that would allow folks to keep the plans they have through their work, even after they're no longer working there. So we're going to cover the pros, we're going to cover the cons, and we're going to talk about who's eligible for Cal-COBRA and normal COBRA. So if you like this information, if you find it interesting, you find it useful, you find it helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So first, let's talk about what is COBRA. So COBRA is an acronym for Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act. And essentially what it does is it allows employees to stay with the insurance they had through their work after they separated from their work. Now, COBRA is a federal component of the plan. And what it does is it works with companies above 20 employees. It allows an employee, once they separate from their work, to stay on the health insurance plan they had for 18 up to 36 months. Now, Cal-COBRA is the California component, and it's for smaller companies. So companies between 2 and 19 employees, which also would allow them to stay on the health insurance after the employee separates from the work up to 36 months. Now, for someone who has both COBRA and Cal-COBRA, if the normal COBRA is only 18 months, the Cal-COBRA will cover the additional 18 months, equaling a totality of 36 months. So in short, what COBRA does, it allows employees to stay on the plan they had with their employer so they can keep the insurance company, they can keep the doctor, they can keep the benefits, and they keep the scheduled procedures they may have in the not so distant future. All right, so let's go over who is eligible for COBRA and who's not eligible for COBRA. And eligibility is relatively simple because essentially if you had health insurance through your work and you left your work or you're no longer eligible for your work insurance and it wasn't for gross misconduct, then you should be eligible for COBRA. Now, the folks who would not be eligible for COBRA would be people who didn't apply within the 60-day window after you lost your health insurance, someone who got let go for gross misconduct, people who have companies that either let go all of their employees and close down, or two, no longer offers health insurance to any employees at all, or folks who became eligible for Medicare would not be eligible for either of the COBRAs. So finally, let's talk about the pros, the cons, and some alternatives to getting a COBRA plan. So first, let's talk about the cons. So the biggest con with COBRA is the fact that it is expensive and it's not permanent. So for example, when you normally get health insurance through your work, they're required to usually pay at least 50% of the cost. So your employer pays 50% and then you pay 50%. It could be higher, but the minimum is 50%. Once you go on to COBRA, then the employer no longer has to contribute their 50%. So it leaves you paying potentially 100% of the cost. Now, it's also possible that the cost could go up 2% for administration fees. So the total cost could be up to 102% for the normal COBRA. For Cal-COBRA, it can be up to 110%. Another downside to it is the fact that it's not permanent. It lasts up to 36 months, which sounds like a long time, but it does have an end date. So it's not something that you can be on forever. So it's expensive and it is not permanent. The pluses to it is it allows you to keep the doctors that you already have. It allows you to keep the insurance plan that you have. It allows you to keep all those authorizations and any money you've contributed to your out-of-pocket maximum. So if you've already maxed out your plan, you've already spent all the amount of money to the point where you're no longer having to cover any of your own costs, it may make sense to stay with that plan for the remainder of the year, especially if you have ongoing health procedures that you need to have. Now, there are some alternatives to it. So, for example, if you are leaving your work, you may want to look at your health exchange plan. So whether it's across the country or here in California, we have covered California, you may be eligible for a plan with the same company with similar benefits where the state, based on your income, is going to help you pay for some of that cost monthly. And those plans are permanent. Those are plans that you can have in perpetuity. Or you may even look at medi-cal. If your income has been severely diminished, you might be eligible for medi-cal and not have any cost for your health insurance. So those are great alternatives. You can also look directly at a private health insurance plan with the insurance company you have. So not through a health exchange, not through Medi-Cal, just going directly to the Blue Shields of the world or the Health Nets of the world and buying an insurance policy directly from them. So those are some additional alternatives that you could have in addition to getting COBRA, or instead of getting COBRA. Thank you so much for watching our video today. I hope that you found it useful or helpful or at least interesting. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, if you have any questions, you have any comments, leave them down below. We'll be happy to answer your questions and comments in a new post or a video as soon as we can. Now, finally, we here at California, we know health insurance. Whether it's Covered California or Medicare or Medi-cal or Medicaid or even health insurance for a small group, we know health insurance. So if you're here in California, our services are 100% free. And I know it can be very frustrating coming out of your work insurance and having to find private health insurance. Or if you're turning 65, you're trying to figure out what is the best Medicare plan for you. We can walk you through that whole process, help you review the benefits, the costs, and figure out which plan best fits you. So please, if you have any questions about your health insurance, reach out to us at the information below and we'll be happy to walk you through that process. Now, other than that, I'm Michael and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy day.